So this is potentially the last set of Master of the Universe Classic figures that we'll get from, well, at the very least from Super 7, but potentially in the entire wave. Now I came in late to the wave, so I missed out on the first series, or some of the first series. I've got a few of them since then, but I've been collecting them ever since. So it is a fairly long-term investment, and it is a little sad to see it coming to an end. But I believe from what I've seen online, they've gone out with a bang. So we're going to open up these four, which are all based on the movie designs, and have a look at them and see how they came out. So here we have them out of the box. So we've got Commander Karg, we've got Dark Despot Skeletor, we've got God Skeletor, all in gold, and we've got Rebel Leader HeMan. Now, obviously people have complained that the figures are sort of, their heads are a little blocked off by the stuff, but you know, you expect that. Dolph's character in the movie was far taller than a standard HeMan. So I don't have problems with that, because again, I'm an out of the box collector. So we're going to open these up and have a look at the figures inside. Oh, and just on the back, it's the standard sort of packaging classics. It's got the cross-sell, it's got the cross-sell of obviously some of the Filmation figures, and also obviously this series, and then there's a new bio for each of the characters on the back of the packet, and one shot of them in their movie garb. Okay, so here they are out of the box, the William Stout collection, which is based on the movie designs. So there is Commander Karg. So he's the same figure we've got before, just with some slight modifications to make him movie accurate in regards to his hook hand, I think, and just some of the colouring. Obviously, he comes with a pistol, he comes with the dagger recoloured for the movie. Then we have Despot Skeletor, and this figure is amazing. The detail, and I'm just trying to get some light there, so you can see the eyes of Frank Langella behind the makeup there. It is extraordinary. And then the level of detail on the costume, like whether it be the belt or the actual cosmic key, everything is just extraordinary. They've really knocked it out of the park, Super 7, on this last series. So there's his sword, but there's just so many posing options. I'm wondering whether maybe the cosmic key goes with God Skeletor, and then he can have his sword and his Havoc Staff. And again, check out that Havoc Staff with the gold sort of inlay and the wash over that. That's just amazing. And then of course we have Rebel Leader HeMan, or you know, Dolph basically. So here he is with his body armor. A good thing about this is that he's got somewhere for all of his weapons to go. So he can holster his sword on his back, he can put his pistol in his holster, he does have the little dagger that goes in the side, and then he also has a boot dagger. And again, the details there are amazing. He does come with a spare head. It's not much of a difference to the head that's on there, more of a sort of a frowny face, but I think the one on there is the one that I'll be keeping on there. I think that is most reminiscent. You know, it's technically not based on Dolph, but it looks like the movie figure. And then finally, you know, this is, I guess you'd call him Mardi Gras Skeletor, but God Skeletor basically. He's decked himself out all in gold, so it's the exact same mold. I think there's a little difference in this, the belt here and the tassels that are hanging down, but otherwise it's the same figure that we've got previously with a brand new head sculpt, and everything is done in shiny gold. So we'll have a closer look at each of the figures, but I've got to say that this is probably by far the strongest wave that Super 7 and anyone, including Mattel, have released. These four figures are just, I have no complaints about any of them. So here we go with Karg. So again, as I said, there's a lovely wash in the hair, his bat-like ears sticking out, colouring in there. There's a black splotch. I don't know if that's supposed to be on there, or if that's movie accurate, or it's just a mark, but then he has a textured sort of white and red cape on the back. I love the black and gold colouring. Again, as I said, the intricacy, like all these little tools of sort of torture are all hanging on his belt there. and even, you know, the little bit of colour in the things around his neck there. He's got his little sort of, or what I would say is a sort of a choker, but the old style sort of Shakespearean neck collars. He has his pistol, and, you know, fairly basic boots there, but as I said, it's amazing what a difference a colour change makes to the figure. And then the hook hand obviously is slightly different to his last hook to be more movie accurate, but yeah, really good figure. As I said, can't fault anything on it, other than I just noticed that splotch, so I'm assuming that's just a bit of paint. I'll see if I can scrape that off, but yeah, that's an amazing figure. Next up we have Skeletor. As I said, this is just phenomenal. This is, well, it's my favourite figure of the set, just because I'm a bad guy. But I think He-Man is a very close second. But I think just the face sculpt and the fact that you can see the eyes of the actor sort of behind the mask, the intricacy on, you know, all of this costume. The sword looks really good. It's got a nice silver sheen to it, and the Havoc staff looks amazing with that gold with the black wash on it. So yeah, the details on this figure. So obviously then he's got the hood hanging at the back. The cape has a sort of a browny dark red color to it. All the straps are sort of are made of a looser plastic, but obviously he has got limited movement because of the costume that he's in. But you don't need him to be swishing around in lots of action poses. You need it to be standing there menacing like, about to show He-Man what's what. And I think this figure is just superb, absolutely superb. Then we have God Skeletor. So the mask, again, it's hard to see, but the eyes have got the gold paint on them behind there. It's got a new facial sculpt, the new mask sculpt. Everything else has just been done in a really bright gold colour. I do have the Cosmic Key that came with Despot Skeletor. I think it looks better hanging with him, because I'm pretty sure in the movie he does have it hanging on his belt when he gains godlike powers. Otherwise, as I said, the costume is identical to the previous one, except for this new sort of front flappy piece. But the detail and the gold colours are just spectacular. So again, it's the same sort of cape coming down, but just in the straight gold, and the detail on the back, like, you know, there's even sort of a bat shape at the back of that mask. It's fairly amazing, and again, you know, it's from a movie that at the time, or people sort of joke about and has a bit of a cult following, but when I was a kid, I didn't question, oh, that's different to the cartoon, oh, that's different to He-Man in the comics. It was just He-Man. I was just happy to have a He-Man movie. So it was different. There were new characters, but, you know, those sort of things didn't sort of pop in my mind. I wasn't looking for accuracy. I wasn't looking for it to be 100% exactly like it. And I think, you know, there's got to be some changes ultimately at the end of the day. If they ever get up a new movie, you know, I would hope that it's not just a straight conversion of the Filmation series. I hope there's something new and different to it. I'm hoping that the 2 cartoon series that are coming to Netflix will have something different to it, because I think it's all the different iterations of Masters that keep it going through the ages, appeal to different audiences. Everyone has their favourites, but, you know, I'm a Filmation guy from way back, but at the same time I really appreciate and love the movie from what it was when I was a kid. So that is Gold Skeletor, the God Skeletor. We have He-Man, the most powerful and tallest man in the universe. This figure is pretty damn amazing as well. I love the unique style of the armor. I love the wrist braces. I love the laser gun from the movie. The belt, the intricacy, the fact that there's a cloth cape. You can't beat cloth capes. Even the fact that you've got the little knife, the dagger in the boots, and the wash that they've used on the gold on all of the armor looks amazing. his sword, and again there's a nice sort of steel colour to the main part of the sword, and then gold, and then even the face. Like, I know it's not supposed to be 100% Dolph, they don't have the rights to Dolph, but it harkens back to that. You know who it's supposed to be, you know that, that washed out mullet anywhere, and it's just great. And as I said, the cloth cape and the fact that you can still put your sword through, and there's that scabbard on the back, like the attention to detail in regards to this particular figure and these 4 figures is just extraordinary. And he stands well, he's taller than other He-Men, but he looks imposing, and I think they just managed to knock it out of the park with all 4 figures on this. It's a shame that it is finishing, because there are a few figures that would have been great to get before the series ended. In particular, last couple of the movie figures. I'd love to get a movie Duncan or Man at Arms. It's just not to be. And Evil Lyn would be another good one as well. But here's hoping that Classics comes back in some shape or form in the future. But I think Super 7 gets a lot of flack, but it's the same sort of complaints from some of their previous figures that we used to get through Mattel when Mattel was doing it. So I think people have a short memory sometimes. I think overall the line from Super 7 has been really solid. The Filmation stuff has been great, and these 4 are up there with some of my favourite figures of all time. These will be at the forefront of their display because, yeah, they're just perfect. They remind me of the movie. So there you have it. That is the William Stout collection, Super 7, potentially the last Classics figures we'll ever see. By the power of Grayskull, the line is over. You swore that you